Welcome to Big Voice University. Did you know that there's only one way to find your true singing voice? In this video, we're going to dive into that and I'm going to tell you how to find your true singing voice, what you may have been doing wrong, and why this is the only way to find your true singing voice. First off, I want to start by speaking about the different voices we have. Most people actually are singing with the incorrect voice. They're singing with their speaking voice, unfortunately. And the reason why that's bad is because the speaking voice is different from the singing voice. And we were never meant to sing with the voice that we speak with. How's that? Well, the reason why is because when we go to open our mouths to sing and we're in speaking mode, the muscles are not quite prepared to handle the job. And what this means is that this can result in a lot of vocal fatigue and tiredness and pain. And for some people, it really goes far and it gets really bad. And they end up getting something called vocal nodes, which is an injury on the vocal cords themselves that may sometimes require surgery. So in order to sing the right way and sing in your actual singing voice, you need to know the difference between your speaking voice and your singing voice. And I apologize if this is backwards or inverted. I can see it clearly, but I hope you can too. So again, most people are singing with their speaking voices, and that is why they think that they can't sing. And it's sad because I see a lot of people who really write themselves off and they think I'll never learn to sing the way that I imagine myself singing. And I'm here to tell you, your voice is a lot better than you think. You're just singing incorrectly. Now, how do we get our voices into actually singing? How do we get it into singing mode and out of speaking mode? There's a method that I created called the big voice technique. And what the big voice technique is, or what the big voice is your actual singing voice. And let's go over how to activate that. So I want you to repeat after me. I want you to say the words big voice. You got it? Say it a couple more times. Big voice. Big voice. Okay, you hear that? When you're saying the words big voice, you are doing it in your speaking voice. So it should sound natural and it should feel natural. Okay? Now we're going to switch the voice over into singing mode. And this is how we do that. I want you to say the words big voice again, but this time I want you to say it loud. I want you to say it like you're speaking to all the corners of the room you're standing in. Say it nice and loud, but the only exception and the only rule here is that you may not yell. So don't yell and don't scream, because screaming can result in vocal injuries and we don't want that. So now we're going to repeat after me. Big voice. Nice and loud. We can probably even do that louder. Big voice. And ask yourself, how does that feel? How does it feel when I say the words big voice? How did it feel when I said it in my speaking voice versus my big voice, aka my singing voice? What you just did when you repeated those words is you activated your singing voice. How did you activate your singing voice? Well, let's talk about it. What you did was you freed up a lot of the tension in your vocal tract and you prepared your muscles to actually vocalize. And I'm talking about your vocal muscles. You prepared them to vocalize in a way that is more comfortable for your body. When you say big voice, nice and loud, what that does is that activates your singing voice. Okay, so you just freed up a bunch of tension. And if you don't believe that actually being loud and making sure that your voice resonates and you're speaking to all the corners of the room, if you doubt that the difference between this and this is your singing voice, try to sing in your speaking voice and see how comfortable or uncomfortable that is. When you activate your big voice, or your singing voice, you're giving your voice permission to actually cover the notes in the piano. If you think about your speaking voice, our speaking voice, most of us, does not cover all the keys on the keyboard or all 88 keys of a piano. It simply just covers a short range of notes. Are you with me? Good. So when we're using our speaking voice to sing, it becomes very uncomfortable after a while. Hence the onset of vocal fatigue, not wanting to finish songs because you're tired, not sounding right, thinking that you can't sing, and the list goes on. So I encourage you and everybody who's going to see this video to sing with your, and let me write this, big voice. From now on, I never, ever, ever want you guys to be singing in your speaking voice. The speaking voice is very limited. It covers only a limited amount of notes. It is designed for communication and for comfort of just the short range of notes that it covers. Meanwhile, when we activate our big voice, we give our voice permission to actually sing. We give the muscles in our vocal tract permission to move in such a way that covers all the notes that our voice is supposed to be singing. Now, is the big voice a cure-all? Is it the thing that's gonna fix every vocal problem? It is not. The big voice is not something that's gonna fix your voice and allow you to just sing any song you want. That's not what the big voice is. The big voice is the foundation. It's the mode in which your voice should be so that you can sing comfortably, beautifully, and freely, and to your greatest potential. Because without the big voice, you cannot sing to your greatest potential because you're limited by your speaking voice. I've also heard people say you laugh from where you sing from, where you cry from. And unfortunately, that is not true because the voice, again, that we use to speak with is not the same voice that we use to sing with. Remember, we have to activate certain muscles and use muscles differently in order to sing in an efficient, correct, and comfortable way. Okay? So once you establish singing in your big voice, aka your singing voice, then from there you can sing all your songs in the big voice. And you will discover that not only do you sing differently, you'll be able to hear the difference in your voice and the quality of your voice, and it will change your life. And once you do the big voice technique, you know for a fact whether or not you're singing correctly. Because when you start singing in the big voice technique, you'll always know when you revert back to the incorrect way or incorrect ways of singing, because it's going to feel very uncomfortable. And a lot of people do get by with singing in their speaking voices. A lot of people do get by with it, and they actually sound good. But when it comes to singing and preserving a voice over the course of a lifetime, which is every vocalist's dream and every vocalist's goal, we have to preserve it, because vocal care is the primary concern of a vocalist. How well is my voice doing? How's my vocal hygiene? What shape is my voice in? So yes, when you're using your singing voice, aka the big voice, you're gonna still need to warm up your voice. You're gonna still need to practice, of course. You're gonna still need to improve your technique and improve your skill, but you can't do that in your speaking voice, unfortunately. Because why? Comment below why. So that is my little spiel. I wanted to share that with you guys because a lot of people on TikTok were asking me, well, how do I use my big voice and what does the big voice do? So hopefully this provides some level of clarity to how you can sing the correct way, and also help to get your voice in better shape so you can have the best possible voice that you will ever imagine, that you will ever dream of having in your entire life. Thank you for watching this video, and happy singing. Mwah! See you next time.